everybody, my name is Gerry, I'm from Wild Eye, and this is episode 57 of the Wildlife Photography Q&A. Now, as you'll see, this is a location shoot. We decided to mix things up a little bit today. We were out this morning creating some content, and we thought, you know what, let's take 57 and do something different with it. Now, we didn't ask you for questions. Neither Johan nor myself got any questions from you, but what we thought would be fun is we're going to go to the Wild Eye YouTube channel, and there's two particular videos that has gotten a lot of attention, and both of them have to do with predators and prey. And we are going to scroll through these comments. There are some questions, there are some very interesting comments, and between myself, Johan, Trevor and Mike, we're just going to discuss. Some of it might be serious, very, others maybe not so much because there's some really strange comments, but we thought it would be fun. And then next week we'll be back to normal, where you're going to send your question through. And here we go. Okay, so like we said, this is different. We got 4 people here. Mike, Trev, Johan. How's it, guys?
How's it going?
Good.
Cheers. Because it's a location shoot,
Cheers.
and we're doing different content after this, we're going to have a beer while we do this because there's some funny stuff here. So, guys, I'm going to basically just go through. The first video we're looking at is lion versus serval. Trev, this was yours.
Yeah.
Give the people an idea on the sighting quickly.
Okay, so it was on a safari last year. We headed out in the afternoon and we went to look for some lions. And we found the lions, and while we were following them, they started to move off-road. We followed them off-road, and one of the lionesses started to go into a bit of a stalk mode, and we couldn't actually see what she was looking at. We thought maybe a scrub hare or something in one of the bushes, so we repositioned the vehicle. We stopped, we waited patiently, told the guests, obviously it is a hunting scenario. We're not sure what she's hunting, but we're going to sit still, we're going to wait and patiently see what unfolds. And what happened next was actually the lioness ran towards the car, and there was a bush maybe 2 meters away from us, and she grabbed something in the bush right next to us, and what she pulled out was a serval.
That's stupid.
Which is ridiculous in itself.
Can't make that up.
So she pulled out the serval, but the serval was fighting back. It was biting on the lioness's nose. It was clawing at the lioness. A second lioness then ran in and joined in. And I mean, the serval took an absolute pounding. But, as difficult as it is to watch, that's raw nature. It's a rare and it is a special sighting. It's a sad sighting.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's raw nature.
It is. So you guys can watch this on the Wild Eye YouTube channel. I put a bit of it in the corner here for you just to watch now. But, so let's start here. First comment. I was hoping that the serval would get away. I'm disappointed with this result. Disappointment at nature. Mike.
Putting me on the spot there, but yeah, how can you be disappointed?
That's the thing.
I mean, it's the natural world. Things unfold. And like Trevor said, they sat there waiting patiently for something to unfold and something to happen. And for most naturalists or people who are very enthusiastic about nature and safari and wildlife, tend to, and as bad as this is going to sound, hope for things like this.
Yeah.
So even though it's sad and it's difficult to watch and be a part of, it still is extremely exciting and rewarding on the point that it's a very special wildlife moment. And if you were disappointed that the serval got injured and killed, it's, yes, as sad as it is, it's a natural event, and it happens whether you're there or not. So, I mean,
it's a theme that's coming up a lot the last while.
Yeah.
This whole, save the zebra, save the... So if a lioness was hunting a zebra and the lioness missed, are we going to feel disappointed because the lion's hungry? Where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
Did you go, yes, the serval's dead?
No.
Exactly.
Don't just say that.
Yeah, let's be nice now. Okay, so this is another one. I'm literally just scrolling, guys. We're not going to answer all of these because there's thousands, but there's some good stuff in here. Go and do yourself a favor, get a drink and go read some of these. But next one, to the floor. Lions are just a gang of bullies. The serval is neither competition nor threat nor food, but the lions just decided they cannot share the world with smaller cats. The way to deal with this is to introduce tigers to the terrain, let them see how it feels to be the smaller cat. Comments?
Well, in all honesty, seeing the tigers walk solo,
Yes.
tiger's still going to see its ass against
He's
the
gonna
crowd
get-
of lions.
he's
So
getting whipped.
That's not going to help the situation, I can assure you that. But what are your guys'
It's,
thoughts?
I mean, it's often it's also just natural instinct for these guys, So even if it's not competition or food or whatever, it's just like your house cat, if you had to put anything out there for it to chase, it's probably going to chase it, and it's just natural. It's just what they do. That they can't help those instincts. And quite often, you said this was a lioness.
Yeah.
But quite often the young males in particular, when they just sort of get kicked out the pride, they often just go and kill anything, whatever they can find. And it's probably a stamp of dominance and
Fight for survival.
Fight for survival, and it's if you have your house cat drag anything for it, it's probably going to go and chase it and take it down.
This is a question that often pops up on safari as well, where people would ask when we're sitting in the sighting and lions are lying still or cheetah are lying still, and you get to discussions with your guests, because we don't only play a role in helping our guests photographically on safari, we all come from a guiding background, so we've got in-depth knowledge as to how the natural world works and why these animals behave the way they do, or for the most part. And because obviously everything we share with guests is things that we studied up on, and these studies are obviously based on the observation of others. So we might say something and it might not end up that way, but for the most part we're pretty accurate. But I often answer guests when they ask a question like this: why would a lion kill a cheetah? Because it's not a direct threat. So yes, lion do hunt impala and gazelle and the small things that cheetah prey upon, but that's not the threat that the lion wants to eliminate, because lion can kill buffalo, they can kill bigger animals. The threat, and even with the serval, for the most part, a lot of people, I don't know if you saw that interaction with the cheetah and the serval.
Yes, on Israel, I saw this morning, yes.
That was insane. But small cats like that, a serval, even though it's small, it's immensely powerful, it's got very long teeth, sharp claws, and I can assure you, if a serval comes across a lion cub that is not being protected by mom and by the pride, it will eliminate that lion cub, it will kill that lion cub. So that's where that level of threat sits. There is still a threat to these lions, even though the lions are way larger than the serval. The lion cub is helpless against the adult serval. So I mean, that's my backing on what had happened on that day.
So let's look at a theoretical one here. In theory, couldn't a serval easily outrun a lion? Now let's say all things equal, if you put a serval and a lion, would they be able to outrun it? Do you think? Short distance, maybe?
I think
so, and it'll be more...
Possibly.
Yeah, it'll
more agile.
Be agile, definitely more agile.
A lion corners like a blue whale.
But I think also then you've got to look at the behavioral side of things. So that serval had ample amount of time to run away from those lions. That serval would have seen those lions
100%.
from coming from a way off. So that serval's defense mechanism wasn't necessarily to run. It was to lie still, lie in a thicket,
and hope for the best.
So yeah, in terms of which one is quicker, maybe a serval over a shorter distance.
But still,
I think in terms of a defense mechanism, they're generally shy, elusive by nature. I mean, we've all experienced it driving out on safari. I mean, they can be sitting in the bush right next to you.
How many servals have you seen on safari ever? Handful.
Probably 5, 6,
3 or 4,
and one dead one.
Probably also not more than 10.
I think
But did you guys know the serval was there before?
No, had no idea.
Jeez.
That's amazing.
No idea.
That's insane.
So the next one here, and Angel is the username, killing for fun, with a little cry emoji. Any comments on that, or we just move on past that?
I think we covered the instinct thing.
We anthropomorphize these things so much. The lions aren't walking around thinking, "Hey, listen, Corin, what should we do?
Let's go
have some fun and go kill shit, let's go beat some small cat up." Doesn't work like that.
No.
Interesting one here. This goes back to the content from the last while. Making video is more important than saving a poor life. I've had a bitch about this online about.
Okay, so
just say that again. Making a video.
So making the video is more important to you
than
saving a poor life.
So why don't you put your camera down and go help that serval when the lion was coming?
Well, I think that
lion, fucking stop!
Whoa!
I mean, really? What's your name? Nur Khan.
Yeah, I was thinking Nur Khan can come join us on safari, and then if lions start hunting, he can feel free to get out and try and stop it, but it's not going to end well.
The thing is, why do you go on a safari?
Yeah.
Why do you go on a wild safari? To see wild animals in their natural environment.
Yep.
Doing what they do naturally.
Do naturally. Yeah. Simple answer.
I don't know.
And I think that's exactly what we do. We document what nature gives us. Sometimes it's cute and it's adorable. It's a mom with a cub, and sometimes it's
Gory.
it's raw and gory, and but that's what it is. That's nature, and that's what happens. Again, whether we're there or not, that's what they're going to do.
It's happening every day.
There's quite a few comments here around why did the lions kill it but not eat it?
Because it was for fun.
Oh, the sport. Yeah, it was a game. It was a game. There it is.
Because they decided when that morning they woke up, we're going to go kill the serval. We're not going to eat it. We're just going to.
Let's go have fun.
But yeah, for the most part, and again, like I'd mentioned, everything that we share with guests and things that our knowledge bank of how the natural world works is based on observation. And for the most part, predators killing another predator usually doesn't lead to, if I may use the word, cannibalism, where they eat each other.
Yeah.
It's just usually purely to eliminate a threat.
Yeah.
And as sad as that is, yes, the serval got killed and it was eliminated. Nothing goes to waste in nature, and that's the beautiful side of this gory scene. So that serval had died for a reason. It was a weaker gene in the pool, so there was a reason for it to be eliminated. But even though the lioness didn't eat it, other animals would definitely benefit from it. Your birds of prey, if a hyena come across it, your maggots, your flies, things like that. Exactly.
Yeah.
Everything needs nutrition, and they would have benefited from it in one way or another.
The thing is, I think it goes. Sorry, G.
No.
I think it goes back to what Mark said earlier. It's not that they're in direct competition for food, but they are competing against one another. If you look at it,
Circle of life. There's something.
What if we were sitting here having watched a video of a serval killing a lion cub? What would we be saying then?
No, that's a great way to.
Then the serval was having
Kill
fun.
the
Then.
serval.
Then, kill the serval.
Yeah.
Save the lion cub.
There's no win.
There's no way.
You can't.
Yeah.
Because nature doesn't work by our rules. I'm going super deep back into theory here. I should remember this. There's some other parasite in a predator's meat because of the way they digest protein and stuff. That if it passes on to another predator, it's a big scientific name. I can't remember what it is. But there's something like that as well. That's why they don't often do it.
That's it.
There. What is it? Go look it up.
Mikey!
Don't look it up.
Well played. Okay, so Ivan CO says, I'm going to go watch lions get shot now. This is the second time that I've seen them kill species. It hurts me so much. So, Ivan, you would be happy for some idiot with a big gun to walk up and shoot a lion in its face rather than them doing what they do naturally. You should go sit down and reconsider yourself, bro.
There's
That's
no
just
fair
stupid.
game there.
That's
not
just
fair
stupid.
game.
Yeah.
Whereas the serval, it was fair game. It could have
Yeah.
opted to run. Unfortunately, its
And the
tactics
serval
didn't work.
did scratch and bite.
Yeah.
So the lions might have
That,
sustained injuries.
Yeah.
No. What's the lion's psychology behind killing other cats? Surely they aren't happy doing this. Again, we put these emotions on these things.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, Trev, after how many lions were there?
I think 4 in total.
4. After they killed this thing, did they fist bump? Or like high five? To celebrate because they're happy.
Yeah. No, they absolutely
They should have been.
No, they didn't. They didn't.
Because they just act.
It's natural instinct. Natural instinct.
No. There's a long one. I'm going to read this. It shouldn't be easy to be a little one in the land of big guys. Poor thing. He died uselessly at the hand of his larger relatives. At least he died fighting to the end. Cats are like that. They kill everything they can kill, often just for fun. This serval did and would do the same thing for smaller beings. The wildlife is not as beautiful as in Disney movies.
100%.
No, it's because Disney's fake.
There it is.
I mean, come on.
No.
And I think a lot of what we're going to hear here today is they're doing it for fun. And I think people should just get that out of their minds. These animals don't do anything for fun. I mean, there's very few mammals on this
You
planet.
can't humanize it.
Yeah,
No,
that do
100%.
things for fun.
Is it?
Ourselves, our closest relatives,
Yeah.
being the primates, dolphins. There's only a handful that do certain activities for pleasure and for.
Bonobos have sex for pleasure.
There we go. So
That's fun, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
that went way over.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, bring it back to
But yeah, I mean, I think people should just get this out of their mind because people are quick to react and to respond and to share their opinion on things like this. But they've never been on safari. They've never been to Africa.
That's the thing.
They do not understand why these animals do what they do.
I think it's very much the Disney side of it, because in Lion King, Mufasa or Simba and Nala were like good friends, and now all lions in the bush need to be like.
Imagine that scene in the beginning, Lion King, right?
Yeah.
Simba,
Yeah.
right? And there's all the
All
zebra
the
are
zebras
bowing
and
down.
they're bowing, the
That would've
elephants are
been a
trumpeting.
Kill faced.
And Pumbaa's friends with him now. Why is Simba now eating Pumbaa when we're out in Madikwe kind of
Exactly.
thing? Like, how dare Simba?
Maybe
do that?
Disney should have said Simba and then a serval flies up and kills him.
It was
Then
actually,
people may have related a bit better.
I think I might have said this on some previous episode, but there were guys at Tau Game Lodge when I was to Madikwe. Lion King came on video. These guys had a proper piss up, and they watched Lion King, and they made notes of everything that's wrong. I think they got to like 137 something.
No way.
Everything from Zazu is blue, like and there's a black rhino eating grass. But for people that haven't been on safari, Mike, like you say, they think that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Safari, guys, is not just, and we're going to get to a question here now, but it's not just about the pretty. We cannot decide just to see the one part of it and ignore everything else. Do you think you would see baby lions if mommy didn't eat shit?
No.
Great question. Do you
So-
think baby lion would have survived if mommy didn't?
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Mummy doesn't eat grass.
No, unfortunately.
But then,
They haven't got the vegan memo yet.
yeah, but then you sometimes from indigestion, you see a lion like chewing on grass, and you get the case first up to Africa. See, these are vegan lions. Yes, John. Let's see how they survive on that. Okay, moving on. So the next video here, Johan, I think it was yours. Wild dogs kill pregnant impala.
Yeah.
So that was-
Short summary of that one for us, please.
So I mean, wild dogs. The kills obviously it's very very quick but very visual. This was in South Luangwa, and the wild dogs were hunting impala as they do late afternoon. They found this female. She was pregnant at the time, and they managed to pull like the fetus out of mom, which is what they do. By that stage, there's I still argue very much that by that stage there's so much shock with the animal that they don't actually feel anything. But it's still, visually it can be quite gruesome to watch, but it's the way wild dogs hunt. Again, we're talking about competition. They try and catch their prey, kill it as quickly as possible, and eat it as quickly as possible before stronger animals like a pride of lions or a clan of hyenas come in, which might potentially kill them. So they also have a theory why they do what they do and hunt the way they hunt.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, look, it is visual, but again, it's
nature.
it's the way they survive.
Mm.
And
And I think before we jump into questions, you were just mentioning now how it's how they hunt, and it's a quick death for the animals. And for the most part, these animals are in a state of shock and all that adrenaline. I mean, it's like when you are in an accident or your adrenaline's pumping, you don't feel pain the way you do
100%.
under normal circumstances.
100%.
And I mean, things that I had read up on when I was still a lodge-based guide is that even though it is super gory and difficult to watch, it's believed that when a pack of dogs kill an animal, it's in a way more humane than it would be when lions do, for example.
yeah,
Because if you take a pack of 11 plus mature dogs, taking down an impala, which is 45 kilograms, within 5 minutes that animal is
That's
it's
Got
gone.
it to
Yeah.
buffalo
There's
that
horns
Mm.
and there's a skull. That's it.
Yeah.
So the death of that animal is literally within the first 30 seconds and it's gone.
Yeah.
Whereas with, like you said now, buffalo
bellowing
for its life
time.
for 40 minutes to an hour,
That's
hour and a
rough.
half while lions are strangling it,
Yeah.
that adrenaline wears down, they start feeling the pain, they realize, flip, something's eating me and
Yes.
opening up my...
football.
Yeah, my football. Explain to
exactly.
the people what football is, Johan.
It's a scientific
But
term.
Us.
That's what I'm going to share there.
Okay, so this comes back to, I mean, it's the same theme through all of this, but we'll get there. Michael McNamara says, holy shit, who said nature is beautiful?
Great question.
That's the thing. I don't know, I'm not sure which way Michael wants us to go, but it's not always beautiful. It's rough. Some of it's raw and horrible and bloody and snotty and it's
And
bad.
it is sad. I mean, with us
100%.
sitting in sightings like that, I've also had so much hate mail where, gee, you and I were in the Mara where that zebra, when lions were chasing those zebra continuously as they were going down to that drinking point.
Broken leg.
Yeah, and the one
Yes.
fell off the banks of the Mara River, snapped its back, I think right leg it
Mhm.
was, bones sticking out, blood squirting everywhere, and the lions had missed, I think it was their 4th or 5th attempt. And again, they'd missed the zebra, but this one that had fallen off eventually climbed up back onto the banks to rejoin the herd, and we see this thing hobbling along. long story short, an immature lioness jumped on this animal and started opening it up from between the hind legs. So it didn't kill it. And this thing was just lying there bleeding, trying to kick with this broken leg. It was super gory, and people would approach or commented on my feed saying that how can I share this? It's inhumane, this and that. But I actually lost track of thought what the point was there.
It's very good though.
But if you look at it, I mean, the inhumane things that humans do.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at us as a breed, you know, you bitching and moaning about lions or wild dogs doing what they do. You know, look at what humans do and what we've done to our planet, to each other, to other species. I mean, you can't even begin to compare the cruelty, I suppose, or brutality of it.
Yeah. But also, I mean, we have a cognitive process. Like, you go to school and your mom says, hey, don't do that again. Yeah. And animals have the same thing. Like, if a lion misbehaves, the older ones will beat him up, for example. Yeah. But they don't sit and think, while they're busy killing something, think, fuck, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I'm being horrible here. Yeah. Whereas we should.
It's
we do.
And it's bleeding. Maybe I should clean it up a little bit.
Blood. I'm going to pass out.
My thought process just came back to me. And why I shared that story is that people would say, but how could you enjoy sitting there and documenting this? And it's not necessarily that we enjoy it. We enjoy it in the point of that it's in the bigger picture. It's an incredible wildlife moment. But in that video, you could still hear me saying, oh, shame, man, look at the poor thing, it's sad. Because it is sad. And if you're sitting in a sighting where lions are killing something or wild dogs are killing something, and you don't have that little bit of empathy for the animal losing its life, then there's something wrong with you.
100%.
We don't go and celebrate it. Yes, animal's dead. You know, but it happens.
It's an adrenaline-filled moment, which gets you psyched. But at the same time, it's extremely heartbreaking.
I remember that it was close to Hippo Pools, hey?
Very.
At Hippo Pools,
right next to it, yeah.
And I remember the client in my vehicle as well. She started crying immediately. When that thing hit the floor, she started crying immediately. And I said to her, okay, listen, because she's out, camera down and she's crying. I said, okay, listen, stop. You're not going to see this again. For many people, they don't ever see stuff like this. Some of you people that haven't been on safari, this doesn't happen every day, right? It's actually a privilege to see it. Circle of life. Cliche, but it works. So I said to her, let's pick up your camera and just photograph through the camera. It almost, to a certain degree, desensitizes it a bit. Even though it zooms you in, you're closer. But it's not as real as the 360 vision. And that worked for her. And I remember there's a podcast on this. It was called Passion versus Compassion. And it's passion for photography and nature versus the compassion for the subject. But a lot of people, they just focus on, and it's a problem for humanity, we only focus on the negative. That's bad.
But I think coming back to all of this, I think, you know, all of you out there, you see these videos, but what you don't see is the time that we take as guides after something like this has happened, where whether it be half an hour after during drive or whether it be back at camp. I mean, obviously everybody's emotional about it, but what people don't see and what they don't understand is that we sit around the dinner table and you debrief and you chat about it as a group, and you discuss it with the group, and you see how each individual is feeling, and you know, I think that's what a lot of the viewers don't get to see and understand, and like you're all saying, it's a part of nature. It happens whether we're there or not. But what people watching these videos don't see is the debrief that goes on afterwards, and the discussions that we have with the guests that we had in that moment.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I think that's what a lot of people don't understand about coming on safari, is the education aspect. Forget about photography. Just the rest of it. Johan, there's a couple of people here asking why you didn't film it in 4K, and how did you get 720p so goddamn sharp and smooth? Just own it. I mean,
I don't even know how to answer that.
Okay, moving on.
Why did I shoot it in 4K? I don't know.
What was the shot with? Phone?
No, it was on camera, but I mean, I literally just busy photographing and switched over to video and just started recording. So thank goodness it wasn't in slow-mo. But
imagine that. Anyway, okay, so ripped open in just a few minutes. Seconds, yes. These lions, tigers are more sophisticated in getting their meal. No wonder lions are the lowest. I'm not even sure to make of that.
But there's not even lions there.
Well, yeah.
It's a wild dog video.
So I don't know what this, how, and are we now grading animals? on how they hunt and feed.
We're all adapted differently.
It's people's understanding, guys.
Yeah.
We need to learn a bit more.
Yeah.
Going
Straight.
Wild dog wins. There's some funny comments here as well. Someone should set up a live safari cam. So think about that. Wild dogs. Explain the sighting when you found them. Did they sit on one spot?
No. So I mean, we spent probably 3 hours with them in the afternoon. The guys had found them late that morning, and we knew that they were going to hunt because they didn't hunt that morning. So we knew that the afternoon was a good chance. I can't remember exactly how many were in the pack. I think it was like 10 or 12 of them. So I mean, we spent maybe a couple of hours with them, sleeping, playing around, and then if you view wild dogs, they start sort of psyching each other up, playing around, and then they get on the hunt. And once they start running, the toughest thing is to keep up with them, especially in areas with a little bit thicker vegetation. As soon as they go through a thick block, like through like Mupanis or something like that, you might as well just turn your vehicle off and stay where you are, because you're not going to be following them through the bushes. So everything happened very quickly, and we were just about to give up when, this was like just after sunset when this happened, so very low light. And like we saw a herd of impala. We lost the dogs completely.
Yeah.
And we just saw these impalas when they do that seesaw movement.
Got him.
And then it was, came around the corner and there it was.
So a static camera really wouldn't work?
No, unless you're extremely lucky and put it exactly the right place.
Not happening.
Sorry, going back onto that and the education side of things, because I think going through all of this is a massive lack of education.
Monster. Huge.
Is that, the fortunate thing is that our whole team has been full-time guides before. So when situations like this happen, Johan mentioned that the dogs didn't hunt in the morning.
Sure.
They expected them to hunt in the afternoon. So what Johan would have done is he would have sat with his guests and he said, there's a very good chance that they will hunt. This is the way that they hunt, and given all that detail. So those guests getting onto that vehicle are very aware of what they could potentially see.
Sure.
So it's not like you're just springing this onto your guest and suddenly there's
blood.
guts and you're explaining and you're making sure, because
good point.
It's not about us, it's about our guests. So we speak to our guests. Are you all happy? These are the different scenarios that could happen. Are you guys happy? Yes, we are. Okay, let's head on out. If you're not happy, okay, great. Let's go look for something else.
Let's go look at scrub hairs.
Let's go look at something cute, maybe impala.
Good point. And I think, again, we've said it now, but the people who haven't been on safari, who bash on their keyboards without having any understanding, and then why didn't you kill the lion? It's sad, because not only because you're being silly, but also because you're missing out on so much. You're missing out on so much. Okay, a couple of interesting ones. That birth should be in the Guinness Book of World Records as the fastest life and death pregnancy ever known. Then we should have a feed your ex to the wild dogs day.
Feed your ex to the wild dogs?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure there's many people who will agree with that comment.
There's quite a few people I'd love to feed to wild dogs, but we won't go there.
Come on, man. Yuck, I nearly vomited. These things are wicked, these wild dogs. No matter how hungry you may be, how do you find pleasure in eating a fetus? Do you think, what's your name? I can't even say your username. Do you think they sat there and think, I'm going to eat the ew, it's a fetus? What, really?
Meat is meat.
So if your cat at home catches a bird that's just fallen out of a nest, and it's a tiny baby bird, it's going to just leave it, hey?
Moving on,
yeah.
So here's one from Deborah. Not Deborah that travelled with us, obviously. There are three creatures I absolutely hate in the world. And that is hyenas, those dragons, which I'm supposing is Komodo dragons, or else she watches Game of Thrones, I don't know. And wait, let me start again. There are three creatures I absolutely hate in the world. And that is hyenas, those dragons, and these wild dogs. They are so repulsive. That poor little impala hasn't even been born. And then the first comment here is...
Off of that comment.
Yeah, someone commenting back is, oh, you must be a Karen. So nice to meet you. Which I thought kind of funny. Deborah, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, if you've watched this far, you need to start understanding that there's a system at play here which doesn't rely on us liking it or not. It's going to happen. As you listen to what today, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right now, somewhere in the world, an animal's dying because it's been killed by another animal. Whenever you're watching this, another animal is killing it. This is what happens. It happened before we were here, and hopefully, if we are gone, this still will keep going. It's how it works.
And I think you can see it as well in smaller reserves. So the smaller the reserve is, the more intense the management has to be. So even like all these reserves that have fences around them, no matter how big they are, there's still some sort of management that needs to take place. As soon as you fence an area, you have to manage it, right? So, and everything needs to be managed from grazers. So animals that eat grass, browsers, animals that eat leaves. If you have too many grazers, what's going to happen? You're not going to have any grass left. Your area is going to be overgrazed. If you have too many browsers, you're not going to have any leaves on the tree left. If you have too many predators, you're not going to have prey left. If you have too many prey, they're going to sort of multiply and sort of like numbers are just going to blow up, and then you're going to lose your grass and vegetation, as mentioned. So in an area like South Luangwa that doesn't have fences around, this is nature's way of balancing those numbers. You can't then go chase the wild dogs away, because then your impala numbers that are already very, very high are going to go through the roof, and then it fights with another antelope, it competes with another antelope, and if you kill the dogs, that's one of the most endangered predators in Africa. It's a freaking miracle and an amazing experience just to see wild dogs just sleeping, let alone hunting. So you got to put everything into perspective. I think just by saying you hate animals because from what you've seen from one video obviously means that you don't understand the threat that these animals are under from a conservation point of view, because they roam such big areas, because they often get killed by lions. And then there's going to be a case, if you had to see a lion kill this wild dog that you hate so much, you're going to hate the lions as well. So you have to put everything into perspective. From nature balances numbers, and the less we get involved, the better it becomes. And you can see it in areas that don't get sort of maintained, not maintained, managed.
Sure.
The areas like South Luangwa, the Mana pools, the Masai Maras, the Serengeti.
That ebb and flow of predator and prey.
One year you've got cheetah numbers that just go through the roof. And, next year cheetah numbers are way down because of whatever. Maybe they got some disease that came through. Wild dogs exactly the same.
Yeah.
So it needs to be understood that everything is a balancing act with nature, and if it's left alone, it balances itself out beautifully.
It's such a fine line, though, and again, it comes down to education. But before I get to the educational point, is that Karen, was her name?
Let's call her Karen. Sorry, Karen.
Firstly, if I might be wrong here, you may have been on safari before, you may have not. But if not, Disney lied to you. Hyenas are epic animals.
The best.
They are incredible animals, super intelligent, play such a vital role in the environment.
And their social structure to sit and watch.
They, to me, one of the most fascinating creatures. Secondly, I think the dragons in Game of Thrones are epic.
Oh, they rock. The coolest one was the blue one when he spit blue fire.
Yes. The White Walker dragon.
Yes.
So they're epic. So nothing against those dragons. And then the dogs as well. I mean, and as I've mentioned, it's such a fine line. And as difficult as it is to watch this, as we've repetitively said now, there's a very fine line. And I think when the only time people will really appreciate things like this and not leave comments like that is once they understand the reason as to why things like that happen.
Yeah, boy.
And again, I mentioned genetics earlier on. There's a reason for it. That impala, she may have been a very old impala. Her baby probably wouldn't have been the best gene to be reintroduced into the gene pool. So eliminating it was a good thing. Even though it was sad to see like that, there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
She's probably had 54 babies already and just couldn't do it anymore.
Exactly.
But I also just want to say, from an educational point of view, I can guarantee that 99% of these comments that you have read have no idea about a safari.
Nothing.
So my suggestion...
This is leading to the next point. Carry on,
Is it?
Yeah.
My suggestion would be, before you type on your computer, is to do research and to find out a bit more about that specific episode or about that specific animal and its lifestyle and how everything works and how it works together before you make your comment.
100%.
Or get in touch with us. Set up a 30-minute online chat.
Yeah.
And we'll share this information with you.
Yeah.
We've combined, we've got many years of experience.
All the years.
All
of
the
the
years.
Yes. Okay, so there's two more. So the first one, we're not going to stay too long because we're not going to go to religion. The question is simply, where is God? Where do these things come from? I mean, it's a natural system created by...
It's part of his
Just
plan.
put it together. Put it together. We'll leave you for a moment. Just
Moment of silence.
got it. Done. Okay, moving on. Anyway, okay, so this is an interesting... And we'll finish with this one because it's a bit of a conversation that happened here. So Qasim Abbas said, poor mother, humans should at least saved her. They always feel happy for scenes like this. Now, we've spoken about that. Okay. Some people answer him back. The dogs need to eat too. Someone says to him, shut up. And then he says back to him, no, you shut up. It's fascinating. The dogs have pups too. Now, here's an interesting one. Come on, bro. This is nature and this is how it is. Your normal nature documentaries do not show this stuff. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because what Nat Geo shows and what Netflix shows and whatever, they show you the pretty because pretty sells.
Yeah.
It's Disney. It's. I mean, we've even sat and watched nature documentaries where there's a cheetah hunting. Yeah, we've spoken about
Middle of
this.
summer.
Yeah, middle of summer and winter, whatever. But then he'll start hunting. As he's stalking, you can check he's in the Kalahari, red dunes. He starts running, he's in fucking the Delta in Botswana, and then when he catches this thing, it looks like he's in the
Plains
Kruger or
of Tomorrow.
Serengeti. This cheetah ran 4,000 kilometers after its prey. But people don't see that, but because they make stories to draw you in.
Yeah.
So whatever John Samuel says is 100% correct. Normal documentaries don't show this stuff. We are not documentary makers. We show you the truth. As guides, we have to educate and tell you the truth.
Yeah.
This is the truth.
Yeah.
This is what happens. Then someone asks Qasim, so why don't you go to Wild Africa and do me a favor, walk into a pack of wild dogs and then stop them from killing the poor innocent mother and its baby, and please make sure you film it. This is the thing. People say, do something. And what is let's go around the table. What is the biggest pride of lions you've seen take down something? Like 9, 8, 10, 16, I don't know.
Yeah, probably. But I mean, I saw the sellers in Madikwe.
Yes.
They were 20 odd. I've seen them take down a wildebeest, but it's usually, I think, on average, probably between 6 and 10
Yeah?
lions.
Kind of average?
Yeah.
So,
How?
Qasim, so
I'd love to hear the answer.
again, but I wish one day, in a way, this could happen, because what are you going to do? So, the zebra's getting panel beaten, right, by 6 lions.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You're going to throw him with your phone? Are you going to throw ugly words at him? Really?
What I don't get is, I mean, my 6-year-old child, he understands the call it the food pyramid.
Food pyramid, yeah.
You know, is a plant comes up, the deer eats the plant, and the lion eats the antelope, whatever.
And then let's go Lion King. The lion dies and becomes the sand.
Yeah, and that's nature. So one of the lines I don't understand how people don't get that. That's a lot of these animals are there as a food source for predators and feed on the grass. I don't know how people don't.
It's a very
comprehend that.
repetitive theme. This.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
It really is. And I mean, there's something I stand strongly, I stand strong on this, is that I'm a firm believer that education equals conservation.
Yeah.
That's the only way. And I mean, that simple analogy you just use about a 6-year-old kid who's learning about the sand is there, the plant grows, cow eats and it's it's that chain of energy, that flow of energy. I mean, what are you learning back home then? What are the kids in other countries learning? Don't they understand that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's part of a cycle.
And what are you teaching your kids?
Yeah.
You know, it's part of a cycle. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges that us is what we do, because I see what Wild Eye is and the way we present ourselves on safari and the stuff we share with our guests. It's heavily educational driven.
Big time.
With a conservation.
It's something we don't dial up often enough.
We don't. And in my opinion, it's so important for the conservation of these animals. I mean, this chat we're having today, again, we're digging into people saying that you're not educated and you don't understand and this and that. And not that we're being mean and nasty about it, but it's true.
Yeah.
If you want to understand something and if you want to make a difference in rhino conservation or whatever conservation, people need to be educated. And if they don't, then there's you're never going to win.
This is going to sound strange, but I mean, Johanna and I spoke about influencers online and how they only always talk about the good things. If I'm going to advertise this microphone to you, I'm going to tell you how silver it is and how amazing it is, but nobody ever wants to look at the bad side. Every single thing has a downside. So for you, if you come on safari, if your downside is seeing a little impala die, shit, sorry, but you're not going to see that unless you also see the pretty and the this and that. It's a full circle. It is. So I'll leave this with one comment here. So on the same. So the original comment was, poor mother humans should at least save, poor mother, comma, humans should have at least saved her. They always feel happy for such scenes. We've answered that, but a username called Vegan Carnivore has like a bit of a mic drop moment
Vegan
at the
carnivore.
end of it, and he says, Kasim, it's the circle of life. Nobody saves your chicken nuggets, do they? So fuck off and leave them to have lunch. Mic drop.
And
And that's it.
nothing else to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just educate yourself.
That's it.
Yeah.
And you know the thing is, I spoke to someone recently, is there's no reason for you to not know anything in today's world. You have a phone. You've got access to every single anything right now where you are.
And if you don't have a phone, they ask the libraries. I've seen them.
Early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They ask
Do you still
the
get like books?
What's a book?
Yeah. I think it's like a Audible ebook. Yeah. No. Okay. So, guys, I'll link both of these videos up in the description. Please go and read it. But take your sense of humor with you, because there's some weird people out there. Comes back to education, hey?
Yeah.
Should we go around the table? Wrap it up. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, it was a fun chat. And as you said there, just educate yourself. And I mean, we are available online if you have any questions regarding any of our posts or videos that you see online and you want more context and answers as to why we didn't save the animal. We're happy to chat and set up a meeting and share our knowledge with you, because that's what we do and that's what we do best. It's what we love to do. But yeah, thanks for tuning in and for watching this video.
That's it.
Yeah, what Mark said.
So we just Mike said to
Yeah, I think.
No. Relax. I've got it. No, I think it comes.
I thought it might have been too short for Trevor.
I think it does come down to knowledge is power. We've spoken about it throughout this this entire recording. Before you make a comment or of something that you clearly don't understand as well as you should, do some research. Like Ma said, get in touch with us. We are more than happy to help you to answer any questions that you may have, but do the research before typing comments like this, just because,
Yeah.
what Trevor said.
What Trevor said. No, but for real, what Trevor and Mike said. I don't think there's anything else to add to that.
No. I think the upside for you guys is once you start digging deeper into all this blood and guts, even if it might be horrible, I think you're going to find quite a bit of enlightenment on the other side. Make you appreciate things more. Really do. Guys, thank you for watching. So next week, episode 58 next week, we'll be recording at Thornybush. Johanna and I'll be in Thornybush. I think you're actually going as well. Surprise.
Okay,
Mike's going
cool.
to Thornybush. Trev's going to a different reserve. Where are you going?
the Timbervart.
Timbervati. So next week's Q&A, we're going to be putting out from Monday, and we're going to ask you for specific questions relating to the Thornybush Reserve and their kind of, I almost say battery of lodges. Of their collection, it's a better word.
You've been watching all the battering and things.
That's
like
it.
Battering
God, those Impala got battered. No, so we're going to be asking you for questions on the Thornybush Reserve and also their collection of lodges. So it's a dedicated episode next week from Thornybush, but then stay tuned, because week after that we're back to normal. Should be interesting. Guys, as always, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, I'm going to put all our emails at the bottom of the video here. Get in touch. Don't do stupid comments. Think about things and just get in touch.
Yeah.
That's it.
Cool.
Done.
Thanks, everybody.
Cheers.
My name is Gerry. That's Johan, Trevor, and Mike. We're from Wild Eye. Bye.
Cheers.